The time has finally come. We have our first official Baltimore Ravens mock draft here on a Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. How this works, we go to the Pro Football Focus Simulator, and they pick for every other team, and then we get to pick for the Baltimore Ravens for all 7 rounds of this year's draft. Didn't do trades on this one, but we wanted to set the scene for Baltimore as we head into draft season. Our first mock draft here on today's show. We'll get started and show you in just a moment. Before we do, if you want more Ravens draft coverage as we continue through the offseason, subscribe now. If we can get 20 subs off today's video, I promise you we will ramp up the draft coverage here on the channel. All offseason long, lock us into Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free. Let's get 20 subs for more draft coverage. Let's begin with the team needs for the Baltimore Ravens heading into the draft. Although this team was very close to the Super Bowl and looked like one of the best teams in the NFL this year, just roster-wise, a complete football team, there are some weaknesses of sorts that need to be addressed going into 2024. And with 20-plus free agents, there's going to be gaps to fill. The running back position, wide receiver, corner, edge, O-line, D-line, just to name a few, for what Baltimore will look to address this offseason. You can't address everything in the draft, but between free agency and trades, we'll see what Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh can put together. So let's jump right in. The Ravens pick at 30, and here were the first 5 picks before the Ravens pick at 30. They include Mims to the Packers at 25, Rakestraw to the Bucs at 26, Troy Franklin to the Cardinals at 27, Morgan to the Bills at 28, and then Byron Murphy from the University of Texas to the Detroit Lions at 29. So, the pick is in. Dun, 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 dun. With the 30th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. I got to tell you, I love this pick for the Baltimore Ravens. Guyton, we've seen his stock really start to jump up. He was there for me at 30. I had to jump on this opportunity. We're talking about potentially replacing Ronnie Stanley and looking for long-term solutions on the offensive line. Tyler Guyton could be a natural fit, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a moment. But let's ask you, put your GM hat on here on Ravens Rundown. Our pin comment today: should the Ravens draft Tyler Guyton? Why for yes, in for no? Weigh in, tell me what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the place to go for the best seats for the lowest prices, guaranteed. Whether you're looking for sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered. Maybe you want to go see some Maryland basketball, whatever it is. Pick the event you want to go to. Choose the seat. Within a matter of moments, you're checking out, getting your tickets on Game Time. You can buy with Apple Pay, Google Pay, all major credit card providers. Very simple and easy to use. And if you're looking for tickets to the big game this weekend, not only are we offering you $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code RavensChat, we're offering you $100 off tickets to the big game when you use the promo code Vegas100 for the Chiefs and Niners game from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, that game. And I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit more for you, folks. Maybe you want to go to the big game and you're a first-time user. You can use both promo codes and save $120. So what are you waiting for? Terms and conditions do apply. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today and start saving on tickets. All right, let's tell you about Tyler Guyton out of the University of Oklahoma. Was there the last 2 seasons. Started his career with the Horned Frogs of TCU. And this is somebody that's very versatile. He has split time in his college career at left tackle, right tackle, played a little H-back at one point in time. His grades weren't great, if we're going to be frank. But I feel like Guyton is still coming into his own at trying to find his footing. This is somebody that's ginormous, right? He's 6'7". He weighs quite a bit, a few different cheeseburgers, 320 plus. He's a big fella. His scouting report, he's got a towering and long frame, which is exactly what you want to hear about an offensive lineman. He packs heat. on contact with size and power. Naturally strong anchor inside. He does, flash some patience in some pass sets. And then the kind of big knock of sorts is that he does struggle with consistent leverage there. But overall, I think that he is a good player and a great player in the making potentially, and would be a great fit if he's still available there at 30 for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, let's move on to the second round. The last 5 picks setting up the scene here. You can see some notable players like Devondre Sweat from Texas goes off the board at 61. Also, Purcell, the wide receiver for Florida, goes 60 to the Bills. So what about the Baltimore Ravens? What do they do in the second round? Dun, 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 dun. With the 62nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Xavier Worthy. He is worthy to go to the Baltimore Ravens with this pick. And I got to tell you, I loved what the Ravens did last year with Zay Flowers in the first round. Had a very good rookie campaign. But you look at the rest of this receiving core. OBJ, we'll see if he comes back or not, but he was kind of disappointing this year if we're going to be frank. Rashad Bateman hasn't lived up to the hype. And then Nelson Aguilar is old as well. You need more. Besides just Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy could be your guy. Some people have a first-round grade on Xavier Worthy. If he's still around at the end of the second, like we see in this mock draft, there's no way I'm not taking him with him available at this point. Played for Texas from 2021 to 2023, and the eyes of Texas were certainly upon him as he was a 2-time first-team All-Big 12 selection, including winning the Big 12's Offensive Freshman of the Year award in 2021. And you look at his scouting report, great speed, a primary deep threat. We look at Zay Flowers as a possession receiver, right? This could be a nice compliment to Zay Flowers to have a downfield burner of some sorts. 2 receivers, young receivers doing different things. Explosiveness, twitchy, and controlled. All 3 things you like to hear. Good route runner with quick feet, loose hips. Hips don't lie, right? Now, the negatives, he does have a skinny frame. Wouldn't hurt him to put on, a little bit extra weight, but certainly that can be worked on. And he did have some careless drops in the open field at times. But we know what he's capable of. That is something I'm not overly concerned with. The numbers for Xavier Worthy this past season in 2023, 75 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He was that dude for the Texas Longhorns and helped them get to the college football playoff and win the Big 12 title in their final year in the league. Should the Ravens draft Xavier Worthy? I think he'd be worthy for Baltimore. Do you think he'd be worthy? Type D for draft, type P for pass. Let us know what you think in the comments section if you'd like to see Xavier Worthy in Baltimore. Now the other picks. Let's go to the 93rd selection. That's where we find Jerrion Jones, corner from Florida State, in the 3rd round. And I like the versatility that Jerrion Jones brings to the table. 5-year contributor, started at Mississippi State, ended his career with Florida State, started in 12 games in 2023. And this is somebody with experience both in the boundary and in the slot. So you kind of plug him and play him wherever you need fit. And he brings a good tracker to be able to just fit in where exactly you need him to. And we know the Ravens are going to need some corner help and need to be able to just kind of find guys in different spots. Jerrion Jones, I like the versatility he brings. The running back position for Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. Gus Edwards is a free agent. Keaton Mitchell will be back. What will they do? How about a guy like Braylon Allen from the Wisconsin Badgers in the 4th round with the 130th selection? 3-time second-team All-Big Ten selection. Had 3 straight seasons with over 900 yards and 11 touchdown scores. Talk about consistency. Braylon Allen was just that. Set a number of school records at Wisconsin as well. And this season came just short of 1,000 yards rushing. About 16 yards short, but the yards per carry, nothing to complain about. 5.4 yards, 12 touchdowns on the year there with the Badgers. A few more picks to get to in a moment, but first, who's a player the Ravens should draft. We've already talked about a couple names here. Who would you like to see in a Baltimore Ravens uniform in 2024? Weigh in the comment section and let us know who you would pick. All right, let's go to the fourth round now. That's where we find Bo Braid, the Maryland safety, staying within the state of Maryland. And you look at this Ravens team needing some potential help at the safety spot. That could be a good fit with Geno Stone likely leaving in free agency. To the fifth round we go, and that is where we find Tommy Eichenberg at the linebacker position from The Ohio State at 167th overall. Had a very good career there with the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we've talked about it previously. There's a decent chance that Patrick Queen's going to be gone, going to need some more help at the linebacker spot. Our last and least pick of this year's draft, we go to the seventh round, get an edge rusher. You can never have too many edge rushers. That's where we find Washington's Zion Tupuola Fetui. I tried. With the 251st selection there for the Baltimore Ravens. So let's recap our Ravens mock draft. Guyton in the first round, Worthy in the second round. Third round, we go with Jerry Jones, corner from Florida State. Braylon Allen in the fourth round at 130. The final three picks for the Baltimore Ravens, Bo Braid at 134, safety out of Maryland. Tommy Eichenberg, the linebacker at Ohio State, and 167. Then we wrap up the draft with Zion, the edge rusher from the University of Washington, at 251. So, how did I do? Weigh in the comments section and give me a grade. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think of my first Ravens mock draft? Anything less than an A, you're a hater. Give me those grades in the comments section. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown. For the best draft coverage around, subscribe now to the channel as we count you down to draft day, and we'll see you next time here on Ravens Rundown.